Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and now that it's a holiday season, pozole is a must. So today I thought I'd make a pot of green chili and pork pozole. You're gonna love this. It's hearty, it's spicy, and it warms you up all over. You may know pozole as hominy, but for many of us, pozole is a hearty Mexican stew that contains hominy, and you can make it any number of ways. You can use any kind of meat that you like, and you can use either red or green chili. Now, I have shared a recipe before, and I'm going to put a link for you of pozole where I use red chili with turkey. I use some leftover turkey after Thanksgiving, so definitely check that recipe out. But today, like I said, I'm going to be using green chili because I always have hatch green chili on hand. Now, if you live in an area where you don't have access to it, look for it in a jar like this. And for starters, you do need to know your heat tolerance. So get it either in hot, medium, or mild, whatever works for you. And today I'm probably going to be using maybe a cup to a cup and a half of this green chili, but use as much or as little as you'd like. And then you need 2 pounds of pork meat, and you want to cut it into small bite-sized pieces, and pork shoulder or pork butt work best in this recipe. Then you're going to need your pozole or hominy, and you can find it, depending on where you live or where you shop, you can find it in the freezer section like this, or you can find it in a can like this. You can decide whichever one you want to use, but if you go with canned, you're going to need 2 of these 32-ounce cans, and if you buy it in a frozen bag, this is a 2.5-pound bag, and that's what you'll need. And then you're going to need 1 medium onion diced finely, 3 garlic cloves. You'll need some salt to taste, 2 teaspoons Mexican oregano, 1 teaspoon cumin, and 6 cups of water. Now you can also use chicken stock if you prefer, but you really don't need to because this pozole has plenty of flavor. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I season the meat with plenty of salt. Then I take a large pot and place it on the stove over medium-high heat, and I pour in just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. When it's hot, I add in the pork meat and let it cook on all sides. Then I add in the chopped onion, the minced garlic, and all the seasonings. That's the oregano, the cumin, and a little more salt. I stir and let everything cook for a few minutes. Then I add in about 6 cups of water and let everything start to heat. Meantime, I rinse the pozole with cool water under the sink, making sure it's nice and clean. If you have time, you can also soak it overnight to help reduce the cooking time. Just rinse and drain the water before adding the pozole into the pot. Fresh pozole will take 2 to 3 hours to cook. And you know it's cooked when those kernels burst open. So if you're using hominy from a can, hold off on putting it in just yet. I'll tell you when to put that in a little later. But right now what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this to come to a boil. Then I'm going to put the heat down to low and let it simmer for 2 hours. It's been 2 hours and I can see that the meat is starting to get tender and also the pozole kernels have started to burst open. So if you were using canned hominy instead, it's at this point that you would add that in. Just make sure to drain the liquid from the can first. Now I'm also going to add in the chili at this point, and anywhere from 1 cup to 2 cups is about average. And I actually think I'm just going to add this whole thing. This is smelling really good. Now, also at this point, you take a look at it and you can decide if too much of the liquid has evaporated. Feel free to add more water, but I think this is about how I like it. Now we just let it cook for another half hour. I ended up letting mine cook an additional hour because my pozole wasn't quite tender enough. But again, if you're using canned hominy, 30 minutes is all you need because it's already fully cooked and you're just heating it up. This pozole is done, so I'm just going to take it off the burner so that it cools for a bit, and then I'll serve myself. But meantime, I'm going to grab some extra oregano and some onion and some lime wedges for garnish. There's certain foods that are a must at Christmas time, and pozole is definitely one of them for me. Pozole and tamales, and bizcochos or bizcochitos depending on where you're from. You'll have to let me know in the comments if there's certain foods that you look forward to during the holidays. And also let me know if you love to decorate. You might have noticed I get a little carried away. There's sort of a Christmas explosion in my kitchen right now. And if I'm being honest, it extends to the other rooms too. All right, I am ready to eat. All right, moment of truth. This is fantastic. The pork is really nice and tender. Chili adds some great heat, and the pozole is just really earthy and delicious. I think all the flavors just go so well together. I think you're really gonna love this recipe. Thanks so much for watching. You can find the written recipe in the description box below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any one of my recipes. I also invite you to follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.